This is Charleston's retirement coach, Brandon Bowen.
I'm Heather Branch here with Brandon, asking for his ideas on ways you can work now to better prepare for your financial future. BowenWealth.com is our website. You can go there to start your conversation with Brandon about your retirement savings and investments. We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there, or again, visit us anytime at BowenWealth.com. So it's springtime, time for cleaning out. And it's time for me, more than anybody probably in this world, to take a good long look in the mirror and have a honest conversation about how many clothes that I have and do not actually wear, Brandon. My name's Heather Branch, and I have a clothing problem.
Yes.
So I actually, it's my springtime resolution. I'm decluttering, and I'm going to go through it. And there's boxes and boxes lined up in the hallway I've got to go through. So I'm working on it.
Because you just moved.
Yep.
Right. So I heard one time was like, okay, when you put it back, or I guess it's turn the hangers a certain direction in your closet. And if you don't ever.
You turn it backwards. And for everything that's backwards by the end of the year, the hangers are all still backwards. Get rid of all that stuff.
Yes.
It's harder than it sounds.
It is hard because it's like, that costs money.
That's right.
Why am I going to just throw it away?
But here's the thing. If you too have too many clothes, you will feel better knowing that you are not alone. You are with us. You are among friends. This is a new survey, but it's the old adage of how many clothes you have that you don't wear. The average person has at least 26 items of clothing that never get worn. For me, it's far more than that.
Yes, I was going to say maybe guys. Girls would be double, triple that, I would say.
Right. Especially some of those cute shoes. We like looking at them.
Yes.
65% of us admit we have clothes hanging with tags still on them in our closet.
Oh, boy.
That's not a problem I have. I will say I don't have tags on them. But here's the thing. Listen, we can talk for days about all the clothes, all the stuff we have in our house that we don't need. And listen, that's not going to really, at the end of the day, really mess with our financial future, unless you have a true shopping problem. That's a whole nother radio program.
That's right.
But when it comes to our financial closets, our cash trunks, if you will, that we perhaps don't realize that we need to be doing some spring cleaning on, Brandon. This is, a big part of what you do at Bowen Wealth. You help people sit down, open up the doors on their portfolios and clear everything out and take a good, honest look as to what they have, what's working for them. So when it comes to evaluations of retirement portfolios, do you often find things that are out of date, maybe need to go to, quote unquote, the financial goodwill pile? And how do we begin to sort through those things?
I would say yes, 99% of the time.
Right.
That a lot of people, they're just glad they found the statement.
Right.
They're like, oh, yeah. And it's, they're ripping the envelope like, here you go. I finally found the statement. That's right. And I'm like, okay, well, let's look at what you have in there. And they're like, I got no clue.
Right.
I haven't touched this thing, since I rolled it over as an old employer, and I don't even know what it's in, kind of stuff. Wow. A lot of times, right?
Yeah.
Or they might have, a lot of similar stuff in there in the portfolio, and it's similar. It's like having the same shirt in 6 different colors. It's like, right. And, okay, that's good, but we probably don't need that same shirt in all those colors, right?
Right.
So that idea of redundancy. So if I were to look at your portfolio, you listening, I might find, because I see this a lot, maybe some S&P 500. Okay, maybe an ETF in there, S&P 500, it's great. But then I might also see S&P growth, S&P value, blue chip dividend, ETFs, or S&P consumer staples. So as you can imagine here, they have a different name, but they're holding.
They have a lot of the same
stuff.
Okay.
Yes, the exact same companies.
Yeah.
A lot of them, right? So if there's a certain company or sector that has a crash, right, then that's going to affect every ETF that's holding that company. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like a cancer with no way to cut it out. Okay, if we want to get rid of that sector or that company there, it's like, well, gosh, it's in everything. All of your holdings are holding that company, And so that also tells me that your portfolio is all going to go in one direction. Either it's all going up or it's all crashing down. There's no diversification. We call this portfolio integrity. there's no integrity with your portfolio if you have that going on. Okay. So in addition to redundancy, here's another thing I might see is clothes that don't fit.
Yeah.
Right?
Everybody's guilty of that.
I'm like, wow, this thing shrunk, didn't it?
These stupid dry cleaners shrunk my clothes again.
God, every time. And it's just from last week,
You don't take your t-shirts to the dry cleaners. It's quiet,
right.
you.
Yeah, clothes that don't fit. Maybe you've gained some weight or whatever, but there are investments that don't fit you anymore. Okay.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
a specific age and stage right now, right? You don't still dress like you did when you were 35. But why are you investing?
That's such a good analogy.
Yes, like you're 35.
Yeah.
Because I'll see it. They'll be, invested for maximum growth. And they're 65 years old
Right.
and, retiring this summer. And I'm like, whoa, what in the world? Why are you taking on all this risk, right?
Yeah.
So the investments are not appropriate for their age and stage, okay?
Yep.
So, for example, this is a really good example, a very extreme example. I've got some clients that became clients over 10 years ago, okay? And I still remember them.
Mm-hmm.
10 years ago, he was about to retire from his company, and it was pretty cool. He worked out on those oil platforms out in the Gulf of Mexico.
Got it. Wow.
Really cool. He was like, he'd fly down there, and then they would have to take a chopper all the way out and then, land on the platform, right?
Yeah.
And he would be there for 2 weeks.
Wow.
It's crazy. Yes.
Wow.
So I was just like, man, tell me more about this.
Interesting. Yeah.
I know. I was like, what about when a hurricane comes? He's like, yeah, they evacuate us, whatever. So anyway, so he did that, and he was wanting to retire. She was a federal employee.
Okay.
So they came in, and they showed me he had his 401k, $600,000, all 100% in that company's stock.
Wow.
You were like, whoa.
That makes me nervous just hearing you
Risky.
say it.
Yes. One company, an oil company, which can be good, can be bad. Now, I explained to them, hey, this is not wise or advisable, right? And I explained how we needed to quickly adjust to something that's just more suitable for them, more diversified for their retirement plan, right?
Sure.
I always say purpose determines placement. Okay. And if their purpose now was like, hey, retirement income, reducing risk and right. And so I was like, okay, so we got to make some changes quickly. Thankfully, they agreed. Okay. We 3 appointments, they became clients. We rolled his money out of that, invested it for a purpose as well as her TSP. Okay. So we were able to put that plan together. Well, then that next year, this is crazy, Heather, that next year of retirement, that old company, the stock tanked 75%.
Oh my
75%. And you talk about when they would come in, it was like a old stale joke. I mean, every anniversary they would come in and I would be like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad. I would pull up that old company just to look and see, and it's just wallowing down in the way down, never recovered. And I'm like, I'm so glad you guys came in, listened
right
to
in
my
the nick
guidance.
of time. Yeah. Wow.
Oh my gosh. And we're able to diversify that, position it now for income and reduce your market risk and things like that, tax management. And they were just, kind of chuckle every time and like, yep, I know. You can think of a different joke when you come in.
Right. But also, it's a relevant story to continue to tell.
I mean, so relevant. So, so for you listening, maybe you don't have that extreme of an example where you're all in one company,
Right.
But you might have, some investments that are just not appropriate for you right now. Right. And I'm not saying we shouldn't have any, of the Magnificent Seven out there, right? Or any of these QQQs or any of these AI, stock, high flying, yes, we can have some of that in there, in the appropriate portions. Okay. So I'm not saying we could completely get out of that stuff. I still like to have that in there. But that's kind of like a luxury item. Once we've satisfied your income need in retirement, right? We're managing taxes. We've reduced your risk in the market. Then I'm okay having it. And especially I want to have it in the right tax status too. Okay. I want to have that over in a Roth IRA so that if we have tremendous growth, I want that growth to be tax free. Okay. So I want you to think through and see if you have clothes that don't fit anymore or investments that don't fit anymore. And we need to go get a pile together and take these to the Goodwill. Okay. We might need to do that. And Here's one thing that I can promise you listening, that there is such a huge relief to have decluttered your portfolio, right? And found power in investing, in focusing your investments to accomplish what you need today, right?
Yeah.
Heather, you just talked about, like just the satisfaction that you get in cleaning out things, right?
It's
and getting
so satisfying.
stuff organized.
Anybody who's ever cleaned out just the junk drawer in the kitchen, you sit there and you stare at that thing for 10 minutes after you're done. It is so satisfying. Imagine how satisfying it will feel to have organized your financial closet.
And you find like you've got so much room in this closet now,
Yep.
right? Or this drawer, like, wow. This is, I put some organizers in there and threw away some junk and cleaned it out. And now this is like really nice, Same thing in your portfolio. When we go through that thing and say, okay, let's just call a timeout and then let's start building it fresh, right? That's what I do for closets. I pull or a drawer. I pull everything out.
Yep.
I think that's the
how
secret.
You're supposed to do it. Yeah.
Everything out and then only put back,
what you need
in an organized fashion, right?
Yep.
So then you're left with all this like, man, this is gone. I don't, right? So we do the same thing. We kind of start fresh, to the side here, say, okay, well, let's build for your income first. That's the first most important thing because, if you have no income in retirement, then nothing else matters. Right. So we've got to satisfy that protected income, make sure that you're comfortable there, Social Security, pension, annuity, whatever we want, dividend portfolio. We've got to have that, a nice, thick income base for your plan.
Mm-hmm.
And then we start building back and taking only appropriate risk where needed, right? We're being very tax efficient, and we've built this thing for tax efficiency and appropriate market risk. Mm-hmm. Okay. Mm-hmm. So this is a service, we call it our complimentary portfolio X-ray. Okay. We'll start by letting you see exactly what you have, how much risk you're taking. I'll throw in a little fee report. It's really, really nice. And it's unbiased. It comes from Morningstar, right? It's not me. We pop in all your holdings and Morningstar tells you these facts. Okay.
Got it.
So we'll start with that, look at what you have, and then I can show you and start comparing, hey, here's what we would do differently. With this X-ray, we need to now start with our income plan. Let's then start building in investments that fit you, that are appropriate for your age, and things that you need that money to do.
Yeah.
So if this sounds like you and you want to have your own complimentary portfolio X-ray on your holdings, let me encourage you to head on over to bowenwealth.com and click on that contact tab so we can begin a conversation with you as well.
We also have links posted in the show notes, so you can just click there or again, visit us anytime at bowenwealth.com.
Thanks for listening to Charleston's Retirement Coach Podcast with Brandon Bowen. To learn more, visit bowenwealth.com and join Brandon for his radio show, Charleston's Retirement Coach, Saturdays at 11 a.m. on 94.3 WSC and again at 1 p.m. on 1250 WTMA.
Financial professionals are not licensed in all 50 states. To find out if J. Brandon Bowen is licensed in your state, please call 843-203-2030. J. Brandon Bowen is an investment advisor representative of Bowen Wealth, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Exposure to ideas and financial vehicles discussed should not be considered investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial vehicle. Past performance is not a guarantee of future results. Investments can fluctuate and when redeemed may be worth more or less than when originally invested. J. Brandon Bowen is not affiliated with nor endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any other government agency and does not provide legal or tax advice. Annuity guarantees rely solely on the financial strength and claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company. By contacting us, you may be provided with information about insurance and annuity products offered through Bowen Wealth, LLC, insurance licensed in South Carolina. Market Guard is a registered investment advisor with the SEC and provides model portfolios only to Impact Partnership Wealth. Market Guard makes no implied warranties or representations and is not liable for any data presented.